Wendy Peterson, Jane Sonoma Cottage.
Good morning, Hunter. Hunt, would you introduce yourself, please?
How about
Yeah,
Dan
Hunt Bailey.
Hunt?
I
Okay.
think Hunt's going first.
Hunt
Yeah.
Bailey, Sonoma Valley Escaped. Yeah.
And last but not least, Dan, would you introduce yourself,
Dan
please?
Parks in Sonoma.
With that, we have, and I'm Norman Krug, Sonoma Valley Inn, and we're calling the meeting to order of the TID board. I'm looking for public comment. I don't see any public on the video, so we are going to go to the consent items. There being none today. Dan, we're going to go next to you to the update on the financial report.
Okay, I don't think I'm telling anybody what we don't already know, but our receipts are way down. In January of this year, the city collected $9,454 of our, not TOT, but of our 2%. Last year was 36,356. So that's, yeah, about 1/4 of what we did last year. Last year was before the virus. Both January and February last year were very good years, and this is a bad one. Our bank account balance, we've paid out everything that needs to be paid out. We're sort of what we collect between now and the middle of the year, or even sort of halfway through the summertime, is what we're able to use next year. Our bank account balance now is $134,000. Last year at this time, it was $346,000. So we're going to have a very different budget this coming year than we have now. And I have the feeling that Tim can get us caught up, but I think we're not using money now to advertise that we can sort of carry over till next year. And so we're a long way from being where we have to deal with actual numbers, but it's not a pretty picture.
Dan, are you including the emergency funds in that amount?
No, I'm not. There's still, in the other account, there's still $50,000 that we haven't, there hasn't been a reason to touch yet.
Yeah.
So we've got several months to go before we would ordinarily start our advertising, but again, this is not the ordinary year. Ordinarily, we'd be stopping about now. And so it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions? Thank you, Dan. We're now going to go to Tim for your marketing report.
Sure. So good morning, everyone. Good to see you all. Thanks for hopping on. Just first of all, as Dan alluded to, yeah, we have not been paying for advertising since this whole thing happened, since the shutdown, because there's no reason to tell people to come here when they couldn't. Now that we're in the purple tier, we're engaging more on social media and unpaid advertising, and basically waiting for the next tier to open up, and hopefully that'll be soon. I'm thinking March 1st, when we can really go out and be very aggressive on leisure travel. We do have limited funds, so we want to make sure we use them right. And then we have some money left over for next year, since, as you might recall, the marketing funds that we receive are based upon the previous year receipts from the TID. So we're going to conserve as much as we can so we can use it when we need it. That being said, things like email blasts are still continuing to get a lot of response from people. So hopefully you're doing that with your own company, but people seem to be interested in our content and opening it and clicking on things. Ruben, they really liked, you guys had a cocktail we presented yesterday. Instead of an old fashioned, it's called I don't know what it's called, the old favorite or something like that. And that was like a big click. So people are into recipes and probably cocktails. Video wise, we have that video out. We talked about last time about we're going to have a video that promotes people ordering direct from restaurants. So they're not paying the 30% Grubhub or DoorDash fee. So that's been out there. Of course, the Super Bowl had a huge Grubhub photo or Grubhub ad. So that's kind of hard to compete with, but we're going to try to keep getting people to order direct from restaurants and then pick it up themselves so they don't lose money when the restaurants are paying those services. We also had a Facebook Live video, which we're cutting into another video about crab season. And we had Ari Weisswasser was on it. We had Chris Sebastiani on it and Rodney Fong from the San Francisco Chamber. And that was really good. It was last week. Got a lot of engagement and a lot of people asking questions and stuff like that. So we're looking to just kind of keep those kind of content moving. So Ruben, that might be something for your bartender who makes that drink. If it's popular, maybe they can just show us how to do it. Good positive news. One, the Beyonce Visitor Center opens today for business. So we moved down there. It's a really great space. It really is nice. We're right in the thick of it. Took a neat little tour. They've been great to work with. So hopefully that'll be a positive thing. Going to really train the staff to send people up Valley. And I think, Wendy, this was your plan back when you guys had it there. Nowadays, though, we can make reservations at restaurants and wineries and push people up and then say, hey, you should probably spend the night. So then we can also encourage that. Excuse me. That's basically the news. At the Plaza Visitor Center, we're seeing more people. You might have seen this past weekend, a lot of people around the plaza. That's good. The businesses are reopening. Some are still kind of shut. Like Ruben, I know you guys are kind of Layla open later. The Lodge will open later, but we saw the ice cream shop is opening. I saw the Basque Boulangerie is reinvesting in a lot of stuff. So I think in the spring we'll be positioned for welcoming people back, and we're ready for it. So that's a short but important marketing update.
Tim, how much money in the reserve account at the Bureau do you have that you did not spend that we normally would have spent?
Yeah, you know, you're gonna ask me that. Let me pull that up. But we have basically have them in CDs, and there's. Let me look here. We're basically.
Now, Norm, were you asking about advertising money or?
Advertising, marketing and advertising money.
Okay, so let me open here for the reports for this week. So in the Bureau total, we currently have $204,000 in the marketing / advertising account. So we're just holding on to that until the time to spend it. And that's not just, that's like all marketing advertising. We've got 3 CDs. So we're pretty good there at about 100,000 each. So we've got money in reserves that we can use if we have to. I'm hoping we don't have to tap into that because, and Dave might, he was in Sonoma, between the fires and the power safety shutoffs, we've just started paying those back. And when Dan was treasurer, we had it from 17, we used a lot of that money, and we've just been building that back up. But we're okay. It's just I expect us to spend a lot of that money quickly once we open the tap for visitation, because we're gonna need to generate more revenue. So once that demand starts to slack off and we're up into the next tier, I really want to go out hard after San Francisco and Bay Area and Los Angeles and get them up here. Does that answer your question?
When you say go out hard, Tim, what type of budget do you foresee in the next 12 months? Just a guess today.
For advertising total?
Marketing and advertising only.
I wish I knew, Norm. I don't have a good forecast on that because it's actually based on what TID is going to give us for next budget year starting July 1. And that's all going to be based upon what we're collecting now. In an ideal world, I'd get a similar amount of money, but I know it's probably not going to be realistic. And Dan and I will have to look at probably what we're seeing from the city by May or June when we start putting together the budget for the next year. I couldn't even hazard a guess right now because when we first built these budgets,
if you were To look at the TID, based on Dan's report, you're looking at maybe 30 to 40% of whatever we gave you last year.
Correct. Yeah.
There's going to be a shortfall of 50 to 60% in that neighborhood.
Yeah. That's why. Go ahead. That's why the plan is to not spend too much right now on advertising when people literally can't come up here. Have that ready, and then there will be kind of a lean period next year where hopefully people are coming up based on pent up demand, and we don't have to do a lot of direct advertising to them because we're not going to have, radio and TV is just too expensive. We're not going to be there. We're just going to have to. We have this database of people. We're going to be working the list. We're going to be working relationships. We're going to kind of be, bootstrapping it for a little bit, but that's just where we're going to have to be. Unless we can get, a huge company to sponsor some sort of huge ad campaign with us. I don't think that's going to happen since we're kind of in recession, but it might happen.
Is there anybody else that has any question of Tim about the marketing in the Bureau? If not, Dave, could you give us an update on what's happening at City Hall?
Sure, Norm. And again, thanks for having me here. Tim, would now be a good time to share the TOT dashboard?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see if I can share screen here.
Screen, sure. Let me.
You would allow me to do so?
Yeah, let me see. Click on Dave. I'll just do this. All participants.
Oh, there we go. You got it.
Okay, good.
Yep. Okay, so you should see the city's spreadsheet there. Up here, this is the same thing that Dan's talking about. You can see what the overall TOT change, especially, comparing 2020, 21 to 19, 20, and just the how dramatically this has fallen here. Our totals for the year 1.1 versus it's a partial year still, but it's not heading into the 3.3 or 3.6 or 3.9 range. And then the TID local assessment, again, as Dan was sharing, you just compare what it was in the last good year here to the past, and the net is really pretty bad. So any questions about that? I'll stop sharing and then offer some thoughts.
Dave, when we get done, could you email this to all the members of the board? So we have
Actually, Tim, it's the same one I sent yesterday if you want to share that. Okay. So just some thoughts. I'm certainly the city government does better when you folks do better. And, knock on wood, there's still a state and federal component to the Biden administration's American Recovery Act that's going through Congress right now. It's being marked up in the House, should go to the Senate. The city of Sonoma could get $2-ish million from that, which is important because we've been drawing down our reserves. But I know there's not a council member on here, but I know council members have said if there are good reasons to share some of that in an economic development way. I mean, I think it's fair for the TID to take a look at something that would help bootstrap your marketing, because again, we all do better when the hospitality industry does better. So I'll keep everybody posted on that. You'll see it in the news as I see it, and hopefully, that whole $1.9 trillion package gets passed, because there's a lot of important things in there for state and local governments, for individuals, for COVID, for vaccines, all things that are going to get us back on our feet. Speaking of COVID, we were on the city managers have a twice monthly call with Dr. Mays. That happened this morning again. As Tim noted, I think we are optimistic about, the red tier is on the horizon. Whether it's 2 weeks away or 3 weeks away, I'm not sure, but I think it is coming. Again, that allows the opening of indoor dining and just a little bit more relaxation. One thing Dr. Mays really stressed, though, and if you could stress this as well, testing is still very important. And not only is it important to know where the virus is, but it helps us get into the red tier. And just like we would have tried in October and November, the more we test, the better it's called our adjusted case rate is. And in the state's lexicon, that means the state knows that Sonoma County is not missing cases because we're testing more than we have to. And we're now testing less than we have to, which means our case rate is arguably inflated, which is bad. So we need to get that case rate down. So if we have free testing locations going without appointments. I mean, there's availability there. And so check out the county's website. I can put that in the chat when I'm done to get him. I'm going to encourage that with city staff to get out there and get tested, and just to make sure we know we're not missing any asymptomatic cases. The vaccine rollout has been bumpy, but in Sonoma Valley, it's been pretty good, at least in my opinion. And we all wish we had more doses, but the city and we call it the Sonoma Valley Health Partners. That's the hospital, the community health center, the city, the fire district. We've all worked hard on, we're coming up on our 3rd clinic day for now persons 70 and over, as well as persons in food and ag production. So those slots filled up right away. They filled up probably within 4 or 5 hours, but we'll vaccinate another 1,100 people this Sunday at the high school. We did 1,100 last weekend over 2 days. More vaccine availability is opening slowly at CVS in Sonoma. Their appointments also filled up, as well as Safeway is not doing that in Sonoma. Safeway is doing that in other Sonoma County cities. But the primary ones in Sonoma are CVS and the big clinics that we'll do probably every weekend. And we'll start to eke down into the 65 and overs after we take care of the 70 and 75 plus. I just want to mention what's going on with the girl in the fig. You guys certainly have followed that. I had a tough call with Tim and Craig at the Sonoma hotel. They're actually getting threats too. They had 4 rooms booked and then now 16 rooms booked, and Tim and Craig are actually kind of nervous that some of those bookings aren't people who are coming in good faith. So the girl in the fig will close indefinitely is the word that they're using. There is a potential demonstration plan for Valentine's Day. The police is aware of it. The police are monitoring social media clearly to make sure that everyone stays safe and that people's First Amendment rights are protected. But obviously, it's very concerning to John Tolsey and to Tim and Craig at the Sonoma Hotel.
Dave, I haven't heard about this. Can you give a quick,
so
I don't know about everybody else, but
back in the fall, an individual who was an employee of the girl in the fig was wearing her face mask, and she had marked up on it BLM for Black Lives Matter. And I think a short period of time went by, and then the girl in the fig has instituted a dress code that include a standardization for masks. And while I think John was clear about his continued support and advocacy for Black Lives Matter, the belief with the uniform was that people should just have a consistent look, and there shouldn't be a political statement either way on that. So that person posted her experience on Instagram on her private page, and then it was made a public page later, where she's taking her girl in the fig shirt off and throwing it in the trash. And all that kind of just went a little bit more viral right after the first of the year. And then certainly the last 4 or 5 days, for some reason, there was more notice to it. But
I think
yeah,
also, Jay, just real quick, because there was an article in the Chronicle on SF Gate, and they pushed it to the front page, so it got the clicks. Then the Press Democrat took the exact same story and put it on their page, and then they, it did create some interest.
yeah.
So
So anyway, know that we're on it. Couldn't happen at a worse time because things are opening up again, and we don't really need our community, certainly our hospitality industry to go through any of this. So we're on it.
Okay. Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I try and keep caught up with what's going on, but that one slipped by me.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Council meetings on Wednesday. They're going to interview candidates, applicants who want to be the 5th council member. That closes today at noon, so I don't know how many people will apply at the last minute. I think we have a small handful right now. The council won't make an appointment on Wednesday, but they may make an appointment on the 1st of March. They're just doing interviews on Wednesday. That's the main thing with what's going on in council land.
Does anybody have any comment or question of Dave? We want to thank you, Dave, for all your fine efforts. I know we all appreciate what you're doing for the city and the tough times we have ahead of us here.
Very welcome. Thanks.
Thank you. Ruben, I think I would like you to discuss your recommendation for your successor on the board at this time, if you would.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of touch base on what is the future looking like for MacArthur Place. So we, as you know, we are still closed. It's more a financial decision of than anything. We didn't have enough reservations on the books, and with the outdoor only and cold weather, we were spending more money on propane and keeping it warm than actually what you can make. So we have work on revamping our menu and our offerings and going in a improved direction. And now we have a date for reopening. That's for the restaurant the 24th, and the hotel March 3rd. So we'll have a week, just the restaurant, kind of like with the new menu, do a little bit of a soft opening again. And then on March 3rd, just open normally. Here, I'm sure most of you are familiar with Kevin Virgo as Director of Operations here on property. He's been on MacArthur Place. He was the first employee. He's still here. And, him and the Director of F&B, Spencer Wolf, are going to be managing the property, which makes me very happy because they are great individuals, great professionals. And my suggestion for a TID member, instead of going with Kevin, which kind of like would be more or less my position, I think Lily Parlato would be the best option for the TID. She is our Director of Creative Marketing. She's really good. She worked in the wine industry before. She created Ava's Passage. She worked with the Kalambanchu family. She's been with us for more than 2 years already. And she is in constant communication with PR firms. And, I think she can bring to the overall intention more than Kevin or myself, just because she's very creative. And I think she can help, especially in times where we maybe a little short of funds, right? And sometimes, like Tim was saying, a simple post about recipe may be doing better than a paid advertising in a different way. So I think will be pleased. I wanted to have this conversation first, and then if you consider it appropriate, send an introductory email to all of you, and move from there. I think she's phenomenal. She's fantastic. She's lives in Napa, but is a Sonoman in Phil, and very very well connected with the wine industry. So I think we can all benefit from that.
Based on your recommendation, I'd like you, if you could drop us a short email, give us a little of her background. And I'd like to extend, as the president, an invitation for her to attend our next board meeting, which is the second Thursday of next month. And at that time, if she would honor us by considering the appointment, we could put that as an agenda item, Tim, that we would
Sure.
select her to replace you, Ruben. No matter how good she is, we're going to really miss you, Ruben.
I appreciate it. I mean, I'm gonna miss you all. I'm gonna miss Sonoma, that's for sure. And I think the association, the destination, it's very unique. I think you have all the assets to succeed. Now we just have to get rid of these restrictions, and hopefully, we can reopen somewhat normally, and things will come. I mean, I'm certain we are having a lot of inquiries regarding weddings and groups, smaller
Mhm.
but more. So I think that's what is going to be the future looking like. I don't think it's going to be anything major and big, but I think that the recovery can be there with proximity markets, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen soon. I'm really excited to hear that we may be hopefully moving to red tier in a couple of weeks. I mean, I mean, I've been dreaming about it for the last 6 months. So I think it's all good. The hotel here, I heard rumors in town. There's nothing wrong with the hotel. As you know, we went through the Chapter 11 for restructuring the finance. We are fully owned by JP Morgan right now. So it's IMH, but IMH is fully owned by JP Morgan. So financially, the property it's fine. Doing bad because we are all doing bad, but financially backed it's totally solid. We're gonna go ahead with the spa renovation, hopefully soon. I told my boss I could not do another renovation, so I just like I can't do more renovations. It's too taxing. I lost my hair. You can see it. So I think MacArthur Place will be increasingly a good asset for Sonoma, and I'm certain that the managers in place will be great partners with you.
Ruben, again, we thank you for all your time, effort, and energy, and the material you brought to our board, and you again will be missed.
Thank you.
We wish you luck.
Thanks, Norman. Thank you.
With that being said, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the minutes of January the 14th. Can I have such a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? I need a second.
Wendy seconded.
Okay, Wendy seconded. Are there any comments or questions on the minutes as submitted? If not, I'm going to call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I hearing no opposed, the minutes passed unanimously. At this time, I'd like to ask if there are any members of the board or our guests to make, if they have any comments, to please speak up at this time.
Norm, I just want to say, I want to thank again Ruben and wish him the best of luck. And know that because I have in-laws in Wisconsin, I'm always looking for a place to escape to. So I'll find you, Ruben, and good luck.
We'll make it happen.
Perfect.
Do we know where you're going, Ruben?
Sorry?
Do we know where you're going?
Yeah, I'm going to Kohler. The American Club is the main resort where I'll be staying. So it's 2 hotels that I'll be managing. One is the American Club, and the other one is the Inn on Bootleg. And it's interesting. It's very interesting because it's a huge conglomerate of different companies. So it's not just hospitality. And I think that's going to be a little, I don't know how to say this, challenging for me to understand at the beginning, right? Because like I have tons of documentation coming to me, and it's this department and that department and that department that, you know, like a relocation department, right? I mean, just like really, but they have about 35,000 employees in the entire world, and they have factories in 50 different countries. So hospitality is the little baby of the whole company, but is the one thing that Mr. Kohler created and didn't came from his family, right? So it's challenging because it's a large corporation, but with the entire family living and enjoying the property. So it's a family business.
Yeah.
A family business in a 7 billion company. So it's interesting.
And Ruben, can you get us all to the front of the line for generators come September and October?
We could work on that.
All right, good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a big line, and actually I was told that he's doing the best of everything right now. It's unbelievable, unbelievable.
All right. Well,
but they are selling everything they're making.
When they need to when Dan needs to renovate, you're gonna get him a sink. When Caitlin needs new faucets and toilets, Kohler is gonna be our place to go to.
You know, I'm sure I can give a discount code or something like that. But you know, if anybody is a golfer, I think it's a paradise. I have no idea. That was the first question that Mr. Kohler asked me, and I was like, shit, I just lost my job. No, I don't play golf. I don't understand the game. I don't know anything about it. So you know, my kids are joking because I'm reading about it now, right? The protocol and etiquette and all that, trying to understand the game so I can talk to my guest and not be like dumb. Will be fun. Will be fun for sure.
Thank you.
Again, our best wishes. With that said, is there anybody else who would like to say anything before we close? If not, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? If not, I want to wish everybody a very happy Valentine's Day, and may everybody have a sweetheart and enjoy the day. And